All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. All right, all right. Were you grooving with me? Oh my goodness. That was good to me. God bless you. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a great day here at Bravo with Sheila. I'm so happy to be here with you. I am streaming on both of my channels tonight. So, welcome to you, those of you that might be over there on the SI Network channel. I'm glad that you are here. Those of you here on the Bravo with Sheila Network, I am super glad that you are here as well. It's a great day here on the East Coast. On the East Coast, it's a good day. Almost didn't make it here, but I am here. Had a busy day, right? Got caught up outside doing some things, and then I didn't know if I was going to make it here to do this live, but here I am, and I am so glad that you are here, that you are here. I am super, super happy. Didn't know what to do tonight, ran in, had to do something quick, and did something quick, right? And so, listen, it's a great day. I want you to hit the thumbs up coming in. And I also want to say welcome to those of you up in the bleachers, up in the balcony, or maybe you have an expensive ticket and you are in the orchestra seats. Nevertheless, I am glad that you are here. Those of you in the chat, one of my favorite people is back in the house. Von Eric, where's your faith? Oh, I'm so happy to see you. So glad that you are here. Thank you for that powerful track that brought us into the broadcast. I am super glad to see you. Nay, God bless you. Thank you for being here to Maine Bravet, my ride or die. I am really excited tonight to chat with you about something near and dear. I did have a guest scheduled for tonight, but we know life happens and things happen, and so that he had to reschedule. So that means I had to show up. I had to show up. So I am here, and I'm glad that I'm here because I want to really talk about something that's important. I want to share with you something that I got a wind of, a whiff of. Yeah, I'm glad that you're here too, Von Eric. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that all of you are here. But I wanted to talk tonight. Actually, like I said, I had a special guest to come on tonight, and last night they could not. They let me know that they could not make it. So, what we're going to do is we're going to reschedule them. We're going to reschedule, and then probably for October, and then they'll be back. But in the meantime, I had to pop up here tonight to share with you a little bit about something that was sent to me. And I thought it was very important to talk about it. I was going to air it solely only on the ministry channel. And then I was like, this is a stop, pause, and reflect moment for all of us to take a piece out of this, a piece, whatever it is, whatever your piece is for tonight. Grab a piece of something that I'm going to show you tonight. You might have seen it already. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But I thought that it was absolutely mandatory for me to do this reaction video to share with you something that touched the depths and the core of my being. So, as I said, it was going to solely be on the SIM Sheila Ingram Ministry channel. And then I said, no, 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 no. I said, this has to be put on both platforms. It has to be shown on both platforms so that everyone can get a piece. Maybe the whole thing, maybe just for you, right? But get your portion, get your piece out of it. I thought it was absolutely wonderful. Like I said, it touched my heart and the core of my soul. And so I want to talk about homelessness tonight. I want to talk about homelessness and the effects that it has. And I don't know if you know that 1 out of 30 children, our American children, are affected with homelessness. They're affected with homelessness, and some of them live with parents, without parents. Some live in shelters and cars and abandoned buildings. They are out there. And I'm starting with the point of children because it's when we are young that we are pivoted into things in life that causes us to make decisions or cause us to not even have a decision to make, right? And so 51% of American children who experience homelessness are under the age of 5. I didn't want to start with a stat for an adult. I want to give an awareness that even homelessness starts as a seed when we are young, and sometimes we can't turn that thing around. So more than 2.5 million children are homeless in America every single year. Every single year, children are misplaced and displaced. And like I said, I could have just said homeless adults, but I'm talking about these babies, these children, because people wonder sometimes, well, what happened? How did that person wind up on the corner, laying on the curb? How did this happen? How did that happen? Right? And so I want us to take heed to understanding that everything is circumstantial, right? Things that we've all gone through have happened to us. We all have a story, and so does those that lose their way or don't have a way or are not given a way. And so recovery is a hard place to bounce back from being homeless, misplaced, and just purpose being shattered. And you're homeless. How can you think about purpose? How do you even know what is in you when everything, food, shelter, warmth, it's not even in your equation? It's not even in your realm, right? Day to day, we wake up, most of us wake up with a roof over our heads, right? Most of us wake up with some type of food and clothing, but there's such a populated people who do not have or don't have family or people to even give them anything. So this really touched my heart. When even you recover from homelessness, it's a whole nother layer of not having insurance, not having education. So many other factors go along with. Even if I come out of the street, then how do I maintain my life if I have no education? If I've been living on the street, how do I maintain my life? Needing drug treatment and not having insurance. So I want you to know that tonight we're going to look at something. Um, uh, Amen. Okay, we're going to look at these comments too. We're going to look at these comments. And so tonight, I want to take a short journey into the life of this gentleman. And it is a short journey, but it was so riveting. It was so heart touching. And I guess that I am so connected to homelessness because for 5 years, almost 6 years, I worked at a place called Volunteers of America in New York City in a place called Ward's Island. And it was a men's shelter, strictly men, young men, old men, white men, black men, you name it, all men, all men. And I had the privilege of working with these men for 5 straight years. And I tell you, one on one with them, learning about their circumstance, learning about how they became homeless, what happened. Some of them were put out by their wives, right? Some of them got trapped off in the crack epidemic. Some of them were sick, placed in a hospital, and no one was there to pay their bills and came out of the hospital and had been evicted. Some of them, listen, it's circumstantial. And I know the mentality of so many of us, right? So many of us, we look at people and we try to put them all in one bag, one bunch, and one lot, for lack of a better term, and say, oh, they just a bum, or they just was using drugs, or they're homeless. But everything is circumstantial. Things are circumstantial in your life. Things are circumstantial in my life. And I remember working all those years with these men. I remember doing special initiatives by request of the mayor of New York, me and the team, going out in snowstorm, under bridges, going to every airport, John F. Kennedy Airport, LaGuardia Airport, Newark Airport. I remember going into the lower parts of South Street Seaport in New York City, under the bridges. One winter, there was like 13 storms, 13 snowstorms, and we were out there taking food, trying to talk to them to get them to come into the shelter for warmth, for some food, how you say three hots and a cot, like that's how they say it. But so many homeless people do better from what they told me on the street than they do in the shelter, so they refused. And then you had couples out there not legally married but had been together for years, and they found themselves homeless, and they would not separate and go into a shelter. And in New York City, you can't come into a shelter with your other your other half, your spouse or whatever, or your boyfriend, however you want to name it, unless you were married. And if you didn't have documentation that you were legally married, then they would separate them. He would go to the men's shelter and they would send her to Brooklyn to the female shelter, and they refused to separate. So they rather stay in the street in the cold with these built up shacks, right? To live under these things, under bridges for all, I'm talking years and years and years. You talking about survival mechanism. You talking about survival. Listen, they can teach us some things. If things jump off, we need to ask them some, how do we get through this? How do we handle this? How can we survive this? Because they had a unity as a community. There was a community of them. And not to mention going when I traveled to California. Oh my God, I'm telling you, blocks and blocks and blocks. When you see those beautiful places with the stars in the ground where they're kneeling down, the stars are getting their stars put on the sidewalk, just across the street are rows and rows and rows of homeless people in tents. I'm talking about a community. And why is that? Because homeless people will migrate and travel so far to get to a warm place. New York, you got to go through 4 seasons, right? Summer, winter, spring, fall. You got to go through, it's getting ready to become winter. Many homeless people would try to migrate and get to places like Arizona and California because it's one season and they can manage to live in those conditions. So tonight, I wanted to talk a little bit about this and share. And later on, when we're done, I want to see what the comments, what you guys are saying. And I want to welcome you once again to Bravo with Sheila Network and Sheila Ingram Network over on the Ministry channel, the SIM channel. And thank you so much for being here tonight. Now, I am going to put up a video. I don't want to talk a lot during the video because I don't want you to miss what this gentleman is saying. So I'm not going to stop and pause, not unless I feel led to. But if you would please indulge us for a moment, just to take some time to listen to this. I'm telling you, this story, this man, unbelievable. I was sent this clip by Ine, and then I went over to the channel, and I want to give a huge shout out to Nick Jones in the YouTube streets, because he is the one where I landed and planted to actually see this. So Nick Jones, I thank you so very much. And I want to get into it. I want to and then we'll talk about it afterwards. We'll talk about it after. Let's see if I can get it up. I know. Let's see. It's a little delayed. And let's see if it's going to work for me. It's slow. It is slow. Let's see. Let's give it time. Very slow. hmm I don't know. Okay, here we go. I'm trying to add it, but it's not behaving. It's jumping back and forth. I am so sorry. Oh, I hope that this will show tonight. Let's see if we can do it this way. All right, I hope that you can see this. Let me come back to you and see and check and make sure that you see it. Uh, there we go. There we go. So I'm going to start the video and we're going to look at this. And like I said, I may go in and out, but more than likely, I'll stay out.
Just like y'all got. That serious intense look. because he's trying to find his way. He's trying to figure it out. It's frustrating. I'm trying to listen. I get my own flesh, me here, my difficult to give in, especially when you're young, man. But if you can go through it, you'll come out like gold. If I can go through the fire, they don't want to go through their own self-esteem. So I give you the desire of your heart. But it's difficult to wait because everybody in a hurry. Technology, it's fast. It's in a hurry. They're angry. They're frustrated. They got time. They're on the cell phone. They want to text message you. Y'all in the same car. You gonna text message him? He right there. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in a hurry. I don't know where they going, but when they get there, oh, they gonna be sorry. The faster you try to get there, that career, that money, and you gonna figure it out that, man, it was the journey. It was not the destination. You was in a hurry to get there, to come up, to be this, to be that. And when you get there, you're gonna feel discouraged more than you did before you even started to get there. Cause it was the journey, the people that you didn't stop to talk to like me and to hurry to get there. The people at the gas station. You was in a hurry to get there, but it was the journey. It was the gas station. It's checkers. It's the journey, not the destination. Because the destination is steadily evolving. We always growing in wisdom and knowledge and understanding. It's always evolving. And we can never obtain it because it's steadily, constantly evolving. The more humble you be, then the more you can be fulfilled with the truth. But when you think you got it and you on your way, then you're going to get less of it because can't nobody talk to you. You can't stop. You're in a hurry. It's a difficult thing, but you got it. I see the intensity, especially being with him. He ain't nothing to play with. Then he talking to me, and you seeing it, you like, wow. You already amazed at his skill and what your relationship, but he's showing you the journey. That's very important, man. He's showing you how to relate, connect to the people. I would say this: it's a man with pushing a basket. This man right here, they brilliant now. Don't look at the outside appearance. I've seen him in action. He was pushing a basket, and I was under the bridge, and I was talking to everybody except him. He was the last person I talked to. He said, "Why didn't you talk to me first?" They brilliant now. Don't look at the outside appearance. I've seen him in action. He said, "Don't you ever." He was pushing a basket. Man pushing a basket and don't acknowledge. I was under the bridge, and I was talking to everybody except him. He was the last person I talked to. He said, "Why didn't you talk to me first?" They brilliant now. Don't look at the outside appearance. I've seen him in action. And most people that came off the street, I was under the bridge, and I was talking to everybody. They want to let you know he was the last person I talked to. He said, "Why didn't you talk to me first?" They try to act brand new. It's a test. What you go through, it's for us to inspire somebody else. It's for me to pull the weakness up. It's for you to pull the weakness up. We don't go through this because of our own selfish weakness. We go through this to give a testimony of how far God has brought me. It was never about me. It's about me. God's going through this. Back up, man. Pull the weakness up. When you gonna inspire? When you gonna tell somebody about the glory and the grace of God? You don't go through it. Get out of yourself. And once I step back, I be seeing the deep things of God. And so I don't play with it. I don't play from life. I just give me my portion for the day. I don't want a lot of things. Just give me enough that I can deal with. He said, I give you, but fulfill your bond greater than you can ever ask. I know what you desire. I know what you need. But Lord, give me my portion where I can be grateful. where I can be thankful. They unthankful, they unholy, they ungrateful, they got a job, they don't want the job, they 40 hours. You can't work on Saturdays, you can't work on Sundays. Now you got 3 days. They always complaining and griping and murmuring. Stop it. He said be grateful with the little things. And wait, and I put you there. But he gonna put us in a place where they appreciate me in the job. I don't hate on the work. I get to my that back. You get them daughter in that job. My back.
Okay, so that's not coming through the way I wanted it to come through. Um, I think I'm gonna have to do a direct. I thought it was coming straight directly through. Hold on. I thought that it was coming directly through my system. Obviously, I don't have it connected properly. And I see what the problem is. I do see what the problem is. I need to connect my feed through this road, this ePro 2 road. I need to do a direct so that you can get it directly in terms of sound. And so, yeah, it's choppy and it's very low. And I'm upset that it didn't come through the way I wanted it to come through. So I am going to do this again, but I don't know if you even heard a little bit of what the brother was saying and what he was talking about, saying how everyone's rushing to a destination, but it's about the journey. It's about you miss the whole journey because you're so focused on moving quick and getting somewhere, and how we all have a portion, and now he just wants his portion. He wakes up every day and asks the Lord, I don't want much. Just give me what's mine. What's my portion for the day? I mean, it's such a powerful video. I'm going to have to get a direct connection so that we could come back and look at this. Um, but, I just wish that it would have come through a little stronger. And I don't know if let me try one more thing and see if it'll work this way. And I'll keep my phone near. And if I keep my phone near, you guys can tell me if you can hear it. I'm not sure if it's going to work though, because it seems like I'm doing the same thing. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? See, this is where I need a sound man. Um, See, starting out the gate, I guess it's not loud enough for you. I'm gonna hit it.
Everybody hurry. I don't know where they going, but when they get there, oh, they gonna be sorry. Journey. It was not the destination. You was in a hurry to get there, to come up, to be this, to be that. And when you get there, you gonna feel discouraged more than before you even started to get there. 'Cause it was the journey, the people that you didn't stop to talk to like me at check-in. That serious, intense look. Because he's trying to find his way, he's trying to figure it out. It's frustrating. I'm trying to listen to God. I got my own flesh and my pulling me here, my own desires. my family, my friends, all these things is distracting me from the truth. And it's difficult to give in, especially when you're young, man. But if you can go through it, you'll come out like gold. If I can go through the fire. They don't want to go through the fire. They want the lotto and go to Jamaica and the Bahamas and do their own selfish thing. But he said, if you wait till I exalt you, I give you the desires of your heart. But it's difficult to wait because everybody in a hurry. Technology, it's fast. It's in a hurry. They angry. They frustrated. They ain't got time. They're on the cell phone. They want to text message you. Y'all in the same car. You gonna text message him? He right there. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in a hurry. I don't know where they going, but when they get there, oh, they gonna be sorry. The faster you try to get there, that career, that money, and you gonna figure it out that, man, it was the journey. It was not the destination. You was in a hurry to get there, to come up, to be this, to be that. And when you get there, you're gonna feel discouraged more than you did before you even started to get there. Cause it was the journey, the people that you didn't stop to talk to like me at check-in. The people at the gas station. You was in a hurry to get there, but it was the journey. It was the gas station. It's checkers. It's the journey, not the destination. Because the destination is steadily evolving. We always growing in wisdom and knowledge and understanding. It's always evolving. And we can never obtain it because it's steadily, constantly evolving. The more humble you be, then the more you can be fulfilled with the truth. But when you think you got it and you're on your way, then you're going to get less of it because can nobody talk to you. You can't stop. You're in a hurry. It's a difficult thing, but you got it. I see the intensity, especially being with him. He ain't nothing to play with. Then he talking to me, and you seeing it, you like, wow. You already amazed at his skill and your relationship, but he's showing you the journey. That's very important, amen. He's showing you how to relate, connect to the people. I would say this. It's a man with pushing a basket. This man right here, they brilliant now. Don't look at the outside appearance. I've seen him in action. He was pushing a basket, and I was under the bridge, and I was talking to everybody except him. He was the last person I talked to. He said, "Why didn't you talk to me first?" He said, "I should have talked." He said, "Don't you ever pass by a man pushing a basket and don't acknowledge him. I never do it in my life again. I talk to the person pushing that basket. How's your day? How you doing?" I talk to the homeless people because they say be careful how you entertain strangers. And most people that they came off the street and they got their career together, they won't even let you know that they've been through it. They try to act brand new. It's a testimony. What you go through, it's for us to inspire somebody else. It's for me to pull the weak ones up. It's for you to pull the weak ones up. We don't go through this because of our own selfish reasons. We go through this to give them a testimony of how far God has brought me. It was never about me. I thought about me. Why I'm going through this. He said, back up, man. Who you going to inspire? Who you going to tell somebody about the glory and the grace of God if you don't go through it? Get out of yourself. And once I step back, I've been seeing the deep things of God. And so I don't play with him. I don't ask him for a lot. I just say, give me my portion for the day. I don't want a lot of things. Just give me enough that I can deal with. He said, I give you fulfill your mind. I know what you desire. I know what you need. But Lord, give me my portion where I can be grateful, where I can be thankful. They're unthankful, holy. They're ungrateful. They got a job. They don't want a job. They got 40 hours. You can't work on Saturdays. You can't work on Sundays. Now you got 3 days. They always complaining and griping and murmuring. Stop it. He said, be grateful with the little things. And wait, and I put you there. But he gonna put us in a place where they appreciate me in the job. I don't hate going to work. I gotta watch my back. They backstabber. You making the money, but I can't go to that job because I gotta watch my back. They haters. Put me somewhere where I love going to work. I can get up and they appreciate my work and I blend in. Say, I'm gonna put you there, but if you wanna get it, go ahead and get it.
What you think about haters?
That's a part of the balance in life. They hate. They don't know why they hate. Tell them why they hate sometimes. They don't know they hate. It's just standard thing. They get angry. He taught. Every way he taught them. They hate. They don't even know why. Because they don't nobody teach them. They don't nobody take time to let them know why they're doing things they're doing. And that's the whole purpose of life. Let them know what they're doing wrong if you see it. I always knew I was doing wrong. What about when they showed me long suffering? What about when they forgave me, but I can't forgive him? He did. He made a promise. I made a promise. I didn't fulfill it. Then they go off on me. Well, I got to go off on him because he didn't fulfill his commitment. That's wrong. You got to teach. They don't know. The only God they know is through you, through your experience. They don't know about church because you can't go to church because it's a business. And all the church people, it's a clique, it's a club. And they done forgot about God. It's a business. Look here. It's just the world. Ain't nobody being bold and talking about God because don't pray in school, take the prayer out of school, all these things. It's the world. We're getting in a time where God is not popular no more. And if you talk about it, I don't believe in Jesus. I don't believe in God. I believe in this. I don't care what you believe in. Let my spirit speak for me. Let my action. But it was a time when I was just a hearer and not a doer. But it got to balance out. You got to go through the fire in order to be a doer too. You're going to be a hearer, then you're going to be a doer. But don't let people throw you off your journey. You can't beat nothing. It's between your relationship and God. They can't understand you all the time because you're trying to figure out your way. I'm trying to figure out my way. I can't prove nothing to them all the time. I don't need them to figure me out. All I got to do is just be patient and do what was in my ability, my boundary. I don't need to outstep my boundaries. I ain't got to prove nothing to you. You didn't feel me? No, you can't don't feel me. I can't put the expectation on you. I don't always feel me, understand me. So that's wrong. Be humble. Acknowledge him in all your ways. When I do wrong, I said something wrong to offend you, forgive me. I got to say it right away, get it over with. If I offend somebody at work, look, if they persecute me, look at God trying to strengthen me to show them who I serve. I say I believe, I'm working with it. Well, teach them. They don't know. They don't know why they're doing that, why they're doing that to me. Let your light shine among men. They might glorify your Father in heaven. It's real, man. I experience it all the time, 24/7. But I asked for it. I wanted to be a preacher when I was 6, but I didn't know the price I had to pay. Much wisdom, much grief, much sorrow. Ain't no other way you gonna get it. But if you can just go through the fire, you'll be like gold. The first thing they do when you go to a pawn shop and take what they do? How do they determine if it's gold plated or what? What they do? What kind of test they take it through? When you take the jewelry to the pawn shop, how do they determine if it's real or fake? They put it through the acid test. They put the fire upon it. This is how we know if we're real or fake. We're going to go through the fire. You're going to have disagreement with each other, but it's okay. You're going to be friends. But if you have a disagreement, it's just a different agreement. That don't mean you ain't got to see him no more and talk to her or talk to her or whatever. I want to go to work. I don't want to go to work because they're stressing me out on the job. You feel me? They ain't receiving me with my full potential. And I don't know why I don't want to go to work. I got to understand why. Why I don't want the job? Because something ain't right. And I gotta acknowledge it. I ain't gonna sell my soul for the job. God said, I'm trying to put you over here, or I'm trying to let them know through you, let your light shine. But I'm hating on them. Telling me, they don't understand me. Hey man, you gotta teach them. You see how they flee?
Yeah.
They want $1, want a quarter. He could have got everything that he needed if he just would have been patient, but it's okay. You recording this?
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm telling the truth. It's all right. I thank God for you. Y'all are blessing to me. A true blessing. I ain't got nothing to hide. My burdens are heavy, but when I'm weak, he's strong through me. He speaks through me. The weaker I get, the more frustrated I get with my life. And that's just where he wants you at. Get frustrated. That's when he gonna speak through you. But he gotta get you in that point where ain't nowhere else to go but to him. When you go to jail, it's called the Department of Correction, Rehabilitation. But we get mad at the correction. He said, if I didn't love you, I would correct you. He could have took our life. Amen?
Man.
He could take the life. But he corrected me. I just thank God for y'all. I see it in your eyes, but this is what Solomon asked. Solomon was the wisest man that lived. He had everything that man could desire. But one thing God said, leave the fiery women alone. But he couldn't understand why he had a desire for the fiery women. But see, the Lord knew that they were going to turn his heart against him. They were going to make him idol worship and build a God, but he didn't understand it. And he said, if I don't love you, I will correct you.
Okay, it's a lot of course, trouble on the line. If you guys can hear me, put a one in the chat. I went totally out and came right back in. If you can hear me, please, or see me, put a one in the chat, please. Are you still there? Are you still there? Thank you so much, Arshawn. Thank you for being here, Arshawn. Thank you guys for putting a one in the chat. Oh my God, we had so much static. You know what happens when you try to show things like that, but you got the gist of it. You can go over to Nick Jones and watch it again if you want to. I think um, and Nate for sending me that clip and me going over to Nick Jones on YouTube, snatching that up to bring it to both my platforms. I thought that we needed to stop, pause, and to reflect and to just get into. I mean, please, let's see what you guys are saying um, in the chat. Let's see what some of you are saying. Let me go on up to the top. Thank you, Pastor Rosa, for being here. What did you guys think about that? I tell you, when we came out the gate, I told you how I gave 5 to 6 years of my life working in a men's shelter. Young men, white men, black men, I mean, who have became homeless for whatever circumstance, through illness, through drugs, through their spouse putting them out. So many circumstances, how you become homeless. And once you become homeless, we used to say something in the shelter that you are, well, you can't get so high and mighty and think about Oh, that could never be me, because you are one check away from being homeless. You lose your job, you lose your home, you get sick. I remember a gentleman who was a corporate guy and had got really, really sick, and he had no family in New York City. He didn't know he was going to be in the hospital so long. By the time he was released or getting ready to be released, there was no home. They had evicted him. He had nowhere to go. Oh, he just went through so much. He found himself in the shelter. I know so many stories where one on one I would talk to these men and show them love and tell them they could get back up again. And then those that were on the street, under the bridges, in snowstorms, we would go out in the deep cold of New York City, and even in the airports, they would put us on special initiative because the certain people didn't like homelessness in their neighborhoods down in Sutton Place and certain places in New York City. We would have to go down because they were out there and trying to get them back in, to get them inside. But again, homeless people do not like to come into shelters because it is kind of wicked in the shelters. You put down your pants, they're gone. You put down your sneakers, you turn your back, they're gone. And so in the streets, there's a community. When there's homeless people, there's a community of them, and they look out for each other. And then that's this that scenario I told you about, husband and wives that are common law, right? And we go and tell them, come on, let's get in the shelter. But the shelters in New York won't let you in unless you're married. So that means they're not going to separate. She's not going to the female shelter in Brooklyn. He's not going to the male shelter over there on Wards Island. It's so many dynamics and layers to understanding homelessness and understanding how to repair the lives of those through circumstances have found themselves in that space. That man in that video is pouring down, raining out there. I don't know if you could see the rain under the lamppost. It's pouring down, raining. But what a heart. What, I mean, like breaking me in pieces, listening to him and the wisdom in him, and no bitterness and no expectation of anybody giving him anything. He said when he was 6 years old, he wanted to be a preacher. Well, no wonder the devil was after him. Listen, I'm telling you, we all have targets on our back to take us off of our square, to take us off of our game, so that we do not fulfill what we're supposed to be doing. Everyone's not called to a pulpit, to a ministry. Your daily life is a service to others, it's a service to yourself, it's a service to deposit the greatness that is in you into others. Everything that is in you is greatness. I don't care where you've been, what left turn you took. I don't care what happened to you, even through trauma, even through all of the things that trigger you still today. The greatness is still there under some debris, maybe, but it is still there. And just showing this tonight, I'm a little upset that it didn't go according to plan, but I guess I should be used to static when you're going to show something so powerful. And I'm so glad that you guys hung out with me and hung tight with me until we got it fixed. And so I tell you, my heart is like beating because I have a heart for the homeless. To this day, you will see me, even those on the bridges. Now, I'm not a sucker for people who pretend to be homeless. I did this thing long enough to know the dynamics. I've outreached certain levels of homeless people, those with schizophrenia, those with bipolar, those with two diagnoses, mental illness and substance abuse, which we call MICAs. I've outreached camis, those that don't have a mental illness in the beginning, but homelessness created a mental illness. I've outreached and learned how to navigate through the streets of homelessness, understanding some of them I can approach, some of them I can't approach. That's why even with evangelism, when people in the church, somehow we go on outreach, yeah, well, you need to some training. You need to understand how to approach people. You need to understand how to show the love of Christ without judgment. You need to understand that your goal is just to deposit love. Your goal is not to talk about fire and brimstone. Your goal is to show the love of God that's shed abroad in your hearts. You know what I'm saying? So when we see something like this, it touches me greatly. I always wanted to open up this huge place for men and women separate. I had this I'm a visionary. I have visions. I will open up a place in a heartbeat when I was in Carolina. I was there no sign of 6 months, and I had 5 or 6 businesses, because New Yorkers know how to get and just push and do and do. And I was able to touch the lives of so many people, young people, families. And one of my tags was sharing family dream, excuse me, dreams through my nonprofit organization. My heart is for the people. My heart is for the community. My heart is for restoration of life, because life be life and so hard. And we are all wired so differently. Some of us can't handle what some of us can handle. We have to stop putting everybody in a paper bag and shaking them up, thinking that they're wired like you. Everyone is wired differently. And we need to recognize the weaknesses and strengths of people. We need to understand that we are in a space and time where it could happen to you. You say, oh, no, not me. None of us know what is around that corner. None of us know what tomorrow will bring. So our heart should always be towards mankind. And showing this clip tonight touched my heart. I had to show it on both my platforms. I'm telling you, this touched me, touched me, touched me. If I knew where this man was, I would love to sit and have a chat with him. I would love him to come on the platform and just chat, because boy, did he drop some jewels. Let's see what some of you are saying in the chat. I'm going to start from the bottom up because I don't want to skip. I don't want to skip. I see I got new comments here that I haven't seen. Let's see. Let's go for it, my dear people. Let's see. So Serhel says, indeed, in fact, indeed, in fact. I know it's going up slow. Indeed, and in fact, that's right. I'm telling you, cousin Janice worked in the shelter. She worked in the same men's shelter that I worked in. We went around that shelter bringing restoration to men. I tell you, this clip right here just touched my heart that I showed tonight about this man. I tell you, if you missed it, go over to, I may do it again, but go over to Nick Jones in the YouTube streets. And let's see, Sir Hale is in the house. Von Eric, where's your faith, is in the house. Mother Pastor Rosa is in the house. Good to see you too, sir. He was preaching. Let's see what Von Eric. I'm skipping stuff. I'm skipping. Okay, so we're gonna put this up right here. I think that you'll be able to see it. He is it's very, there it is. Nick, that's his YouTube channel, Nick Von Jones. I tell you, it was incredible how he did a reaction video. And when I saw it, I said, let me shut it down. Stop, pause, and reflect on this one, and shown it on both platforms. So both people to come and bask with me and with the Lord, and what we do here at Bravo will be able to see it tonight. Von Eric said he was powerful. Yes, he was powerful. Then we go scroll up. You know, I like to get with my folks, my peeps. And Nina is saying sometimes we don't humble ourselves to sit still long enough to hear powerful words of wisdom from someone who may not have or dresses. Yes, this is a former homeless man, but still out there in them streets. Did y'all see the pouring rain that he was standing giving wisdom to these young cats in the car? Oh my God. Can't learn anything when you know everything. Amen. You have to be humble to receive it. I totally agree with you. Sean, I agree with you. And they say he could have gotten everything he needed if he just would have been patient. Wow. Yeah, and we got Pastor Rose in the house. Wow, so many mixed emotions right now. Me too. It was backflashing me and triggering me. Those moments under those bridges, going out to them airports, talking to the homeless. I tell you, you want to know a community of unity. Find yourself. I mean, I knew the homeless by name. Every week we went out, I knew them by name because they wouldn't come into the shelter. So we would go check on them, knew them by name, taking them food, making sure they were good, and just listening to how they got in that position. Listen, God doesn't birth bums. God doesn't create bums. Let me say that's a bum. I stepped over a bum. No, you stepped over a human being. You stepped over someone that possibly lost their way, possibly circumstantially found themselves in that position. We can't judge people by what we see. We cannot do that. We cannot. Pastor Rosa says, wow, nothing unintelligent about him at all. Absolutely. his situations of life that happen, and we are not willing or ready to handle them. Absolutely. Von Eric, where's your face? Had Holy Spirit speaking knowledge in him. Lord's great. Yes, 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 and yes. And then Nay is saying, give me my portion for the day. That's what he said. He said, I don't want much from you, Lord. He said, I really don't need much from God. He said, all I do is ask him to, Lord, just give me my portion for the day. Whatever that portion is, just give me my portion and I'm satisfied. And we need to say right now, Father, give us our portion. Whatever that portion is, whatever it is, I tell you, I'm charged up right now. This is my kind of thing. This is my kind of ministry. This is why I like to go all over the world. I like to go to the third world countries. I like to get deep inside of certain countries with the kids. And I remember I bought a lot of shoes for kids that was walking around with no shoes. Yeah, sent them over there to Africa. Had no shoes. I remember going to these countries and going. I said, take me to the deep steps. Don't take me to the cute places. You got me in the nice place over here, but I want to get with the people. I want to love on the people. I want to show the people love. I want to see and give them hope. Listen, there's so much for us to do and say for so many people, even as we're at a distance. There's so much that we could offer, so much that we could do. And we have this right in our backyard. We don't even have to go out to a third world country. There are people here that are starving Marvin right now, people that are starving right now. And so I tell you, tonight has got me on fire. We're patient. The message is worth it. Yeah, that's when it was choppy, and I couldn't get my sound right. And you guys hung in there with me. I was getting ready to get discouraged, and the Lord told me, take a breath. So I stopped, paused, and I reflected, and I took a breath. And that's what happens when you got folk that's with you, that calm you down, even if they're not in your space. I could feel your spirit. I could feel your push telling me, don't quit, Sheila. It's going to be all right. Von Eric and then was saying, we patient, let's fix this thing. And boom, as I became patient and took a breath, there we go. This made that I was led to take to lunch, and told me he felt safer on. Oh, okay, this man that I was led to take to lunch told me that he felt safer on the streets, and it was really rough for women in the shelters. Yes, the shelters is no joke. You got to be cut out for the shelter. These homeless people, I was like, come on, no, we don't want to go in. I'm like, but you'll have three hots in a cot. Nope, I'd rather do my bid out here, because in the shelter, you could put your toothbrush down and turn, it's gone. Put your sneakers down, turn, it's gone. It's not safe in shelters. You know, it's sad. It's so sad that so many people find themselves in the shelter. And then you have those that can stick it out, and they I know we found a lot of our guys housing young people, young guys, 19, 17. Now, those are the ones I used to sit and say, what happened? What happened? How did you get here? How did you get here? What happened to you? My cousin Janice, who's in the chat, she also worked there on volunteers on Wards Island at the Volunteers of America Men's Shelter for years, just like I did. And she knows what I'm talking about, how we help all those men. I tell you, it's something about men that are broken, that are trying to get back up again. And when they find someone who loves them and who could connect with them and not judge them, they allow you to speak life back into them. I'm not going to boast on myself, but I'm telling you, I have seen the fruit of my labor in that shelter. I've seen the fruit of how I took time with them. Some caught on quicker than others. Some of them went on to get jobs and move in homes and get families. So, it's not about judgment. It's about having a heart for the people. So tonight has been awesome. We worked our way through it. I'm so happy that I didn't quit. I'm so happy that you pushed me through to get to this point where we had a great night here and on the SIM channel, and it was wonderful. And I tell you, I'm going to find, I'm sold out now to do more reaction videos like this, because it's encouragement. Like I said, I was going to put this solely on the ministry channel, and then and it was like, everybody needs to hear this. This is a stop, pause, and a reflect. And that's why at the beginning of the live, I said, take out what's for you. Take out your portion. Take out what's for you. Let's see what Arshawn is saying here. Arshawn is saying, and it takes so long, I hate the delay. It says, you ain't got to boast, but you can give yourself a bravo that we don't know. I give myself a bravo, Arshawn. As a matter of fact, let's all touch ourselves and say bravo for whatever it is that we're doing, that we did, and that we're going to do. Bravo to me. Go ahead and give yourself a bravo just because, and you don't need permission. Just go ahead and do it. All right. All right. This is absolutely wonderful. And Nay is saying, and it's coming soon. You did an amazing job. Thank you. Love you. Something awful. Something awful. Yeah, it's been awesome to be with you guys tonight. I tell you, I'm excited. My guests canceled last night because they had to. And so we're going to reschedule them. You don't want to miss him. You do not want to miss him in October. And I'll be putting the thumbnail back up on tomorrow is Wednesday. Oh my goodness, I forgot. I'm back on Bravo with Live Bravo Network tomorrow with Karen in Africa. We have part 3 of Africa. You know, I'm doing this Africa series. So we're going to have Karen back. She's going to be talking about wealth. She's going to be talking about how she left the US and what she did to start her business. She said, there's so many opportunities. Please let me come back and share some things. Her family is visiting her now. So we're going to have a really great time tomorrow because she is really, really getting her feet wet in Africa and Ghana. And I have someone else coming on a part 4 of Africa. I'm also going to be doing a live on my DNA. My DNA, I'm going to show it on screen how my pie, my circle is broken down into how much Nigerian blood is in me, Ghana heritage, and some Togo. It shows so many things, and I'm going to talk about each part of Africa that my roots have come from, which is incredible, 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 incredible. And so I tell you, it's going to be awesome when I do that. And I wanted to share with you that part of my life as I have gotten so much of my DNA back and learned and met some of my distant relatives that I didn't know existed by getting the DNA and seeing them shaking on the tree on Ancestry and them reaching out to me. Hey, I see you on my tree. Or you're my my third cousin. Oh, I see you. Oh, I see you. Oh my God. And then we send emails. So it's finding people that you would never find, looking at ancestry information, looking at the paperwork of slaves. I saw who was in my great great grandmother's house, who was a slave, who finished school, all those things. So sending in my saliva, right, with the DNA and getting that back, those, because your DNA doesn't change, but they're forever processing this scientific movement of the percentage of who and where you are in terms of your DNA inheritance and heritage in Africa. So I have a lot of Nigerian in me, a lot of Ghana in me. It's just wonderful. So I'm going to share that with you. Going to break it down so you can actually see how this is done. Also giving you the history on each part of Africa, which is going to be awesome to do. It excites me to dig into that and find different relatives. I mean, it goes way. I can tell you once the DNA is dropped into Get Match, it's a GED, it drops into this thing here. And when it drops in, a wealth of information pops open to like your 10th cousin. So I don't go that far back. That's just too far to go back. And then you see different people. I saw a few people that I didn't know were my cousin that are like my third cousin. So I wanted to get in touch with them. And so it's a wonderful experience. It's a wonderful thing. I love traveling to Africa. I can't wait to go back. But listen, it's been great. I want you to stay tuned for more of the Africa series. Tomorrow we'll be on with Karen from in Africa, in Ghana, Karen of Ghana. We're going to be talking with her. And then Thursday, of course, we'll be with Lady Dawn B and friends. I think this week she's talking to the men's lounge. If I'm not, no, redeeming me. She switched it. Part 2 of redeeming me. Part 2 of redeeming me. So good night to all of you. My cousin Janice just made a comment. She said, I love working with the homeless. Yes, yes, and yes. So it has been wonderful. being with you tonight. We're going to take it out with a little bit of Von Erich's jam, and we're just going to breeze on out of here. We're going to breeze on out. If I could pull it up, this internet is acting a little crazy tonight, but we got through it. We got through it. We got through it. We have to, so far, I didn't name this. He keeps sending me these wonderful tracks, but here's another one. I like the little beats. Let's bounce on out. I think we're bounce on out of here. You want to bounce with me? Come on and bounce. You want to bounce? Let's see if we'll bounce together. If it'll play. Because I'm having issues. I'm having issues. Let's see. We're waiting. Da, 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 da. I don't see it. I don't hear it. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Come on, bounce. Let's bounce. Let's bounce. Hey. Let's bounce. Let's bounce. Come on, come on. Let's bounce. Hey. You want to bounce? Hey. Morning,